was in Parliament, yes.
Interesting. Dismus, your take in terms of perhaps what is raised, the accountability aspect, even as you add on your points around the taxation measures that we saw.
You know, there are two issues. There is the income and expenditure. So the first level to look at is income. Then expenditure, or now the resources are going to be used, is an entirely different ballgame. But let's look at, let's give it an helicopter view. This finance bill was characterized by three things. Number one, there was a lot of propaganda, misinformation, and disinformation. Majority of the people who are discussing this finance bill 2023, in fact, are not socialized with the document. At some stage, President Ruto hosted business leaders at Serena, and they came forward with a laundry list saying, Mr. President, we would like you to do this. Then he makes reference to the finance bill. He says, for the people from the leather industry, this has already been taken care of. So all the issues they were raising, there are already incentives in the finance bill. So then one begins to wonder, if Kenya's business and corporate leaders have not socialized with the finance bill, how can they then participate in an informed conversation? So it was very embarrassing for them to tell President Ruto, we'd like this. Then he tells them, I've got good news for you. It's already captured here. We want this. I've got good news for you. It's already captured here. Then secondly, some members of the National Assembly, it seems to me again that not socialized with the document proper. Because a number of them wouldn't even tell the difference between goods that are tax exempt or zero rated. So there was a lot of debate and nobody knew exactly what they were talking about. So then you begin to wonder, if these members of the National Assembly who are going to vote on this bill, they don't know the difference between tax exempt and zero rated, then what is the quality of conversation are they going to have? And then number three, in mature democracies, and Kenya aims to be in that space, like say in the UK or in the US, always the opposition or the minority will come with the alternative. But we didn't see that happening in Kenya. The Azimio, which is a minority, did not give us an alternative budget. They said that for them, the primary responsibility is to criticize, but they did not give us an option. And we see it happening in the UK, where you have the shadow minister coming up with alternative proposals. In the UK, where the minorities come with the proposals. So we expected them also to give us proposals. And then lastly, I think now Kenya Kwanza has managed to mainstream the economics conversation in Kenya. Everybody, starting from Mama Mboga, every Kenyan now has got a view about the finance bill, informed or otherwise. And you saw President Ruto going on national TV and explaining it for about 4 hours. One would have expected that Azimio would have done the same. That Mr. Raila Odinga would have called a journalist or a news conference and actually discuss those numbers into detail and break them. He did not. One would have expected that Martha Karua would do the same. She did not. One would have expected Kalonzo Musyoka to do that. Kalonzo Musyoka did not do that. Okay. So the debate was just left to Kenya Kwanza. Yeah, but I think in future, there may be need for capacity building for the key players, especially on the taxation terminologies. I think they can go to Strathmore University and get Professor James McPhee to give them basics. And really, you're smiling. This is a very serious issue that when Professor Njuguna tells them these goods are zero rated and these are tax exempt, and you're voting on a clause and you actually don't know what this is all about, it becomes a bit untidy. But all in all, as Leonard has indicated, the Kenya Kwanza has taken office after the Handshake brothers mismanaged the economy, so they're actually cleaning tables. And as a student of taxation, we are told there are two things you cannot avoid in life. You can't avoid tax, and you can't avoid death. So if you expect to be a beneficiary of public goods, public services, be prepared to pay your part of tax.
And what he raised, has that assurance been given that, at the end of the day, these taxes will go to the intended purposes with minimal wastage? Has this message been given by the current administration?
Absolutely. The 2010 Constitution gave us a lot of governance institutions, from the control of budgets, from the Auditor General. There are several, the DPP, everybody. You've got those institutions that have got capacity to ensure that this coin goes for the intended purposes. And if you try to assault the resources placed in your hands, then you are going to pay for it. And again, you've seen after he assumed office, when President Ruto was alerted to the fact that resources are being misused at KEMSA, he did not hesitate. And again, I've seen for the first time that the head of the public service, Mr. Koskei, in fact has been meeting with the relevant officers at the national government, and he's been reading the Riot Act almost on a daily basis. And Ruto himself said that when it comes to corruption, leave that to me, I'm going to take personal responsibility. So at the end of every financial year, then we'll be looking at the president and saying, you promised Kenyans you're going to take personal responsibility. If there's a coin which is going to be lost under your watch, then we'll ask the president.
I think that's, I just wanted to say that